meeting of the beauty of Aberdeen. So it means everybody is concerned. Everybody
Was able to pilot affairs of the party, said he is ill and hearty and ready to reposition the party. He said those who wanted the party to disintegrate were merely dreaming.
PDP is coming stronger than before now. There's a little squabble in PDP party. It's not my own making. It's not making of my colleagues. It's a situation that calls for it. I responded to it quickly. We have closed ranks. We have brought our house to order. Let me use this occasion to thank the father of any other party, because we provided the best governance since the return of democracy to this country. And I believe Nigerians are not going to forget those good old days. Well, yesterday people were rejoicing, or our opponents were rejoicing. There is a crisis. You have an internal crisis in your house, in your department, in your village, in everywhere. It's normal. But what makes you different is your ability to resolve that crisis.
But I think the message that is coming out from our efforts at national reconciliation, what we are seeing today, is that this is a party of men and women that appreciate the importance of the moment, not only in our party, but in our country. Because that is what is driving us to ensure that we provide unity. Let me commend the NWC, and all of Nigerians will see that this is a party that is ready to lead this country to where it needs to be and take us away from this thing.
With the resolution of the crisis, the foremost opposition party may be on course towards reclaiming the presidency come February 2023.
All Progressive Congress has inaugurated an 8-man committee on digital transformation for the party. Inaugurating the games, Akpan Odoye said the committee was set up to digitize party activities. He said they were selected based on their proven records, hence members of the committee are expected to recommend how to use digital technologies for the growth of the party.
It is also a conviction that the introduction and improvement of digital intermediaries, example, software applications, websites, social network services, into the structure of our party. It's a seasoned party administrator, great credentials, which we believe will be collected.
Inu Abdullahi said since the world has become a global village and things have evolved, the committee is ready to discharge its duties professionally.
We all know that we are living in an unprecedented time. Things are changing, and they're changing dramatically. And digital technologies are becoming a source of inspiration for us to do what we do better. We can use technology to enhance our processes, to enhance our services, and also to deliver our traditional services more efficiently and transparently. Likewise, we can use technology to bring new things into our party.
Let's stay with the APC as governors under the platform of the All Progressive Congress say Governor Babagana Zulum's insightful and resolute passion to mobilize Nigerians to end insecurity is inspirational. The governors operating under the umbrella of Progressive Governors Forum made the declaration while congratulating passion for managing processes of governance was also a source of inspiration. The Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya says securing lives and property must be a collective one. He reaffirmed this when he paid a courtesy call to Governor Rotimi Akeredolu in his office in Akure. Chief of Army Staff, who is on a tour of formations and units under the 2nd Division in Ibadan, urged the governor not to relent in his efforts at partnering security agencies. The governor was represented by his deputy, appreciated the efforts of the men of Nigerian Army in securing territories and helping with internal security. He also said part of the collaboration bettered the formation of Ondo State Security Outfit codenamed Amoteku, which is helping to clear the nooks and crannies of the state.
It's usual for you to go around the formation and unit under areas of intervention, where we give also guidance and directives, and now interact with the troops and appreciate their job and see firsthand other activities. And that's what brought me to division.
We appreciate his visit, and it's also to further work together to collaborate with other security agencies in Ondo State so that we can have maximum security for our people.
In the meantime, the Nigerian army has confirmed the attack on Babangida town in Yobe State by Boko Haram and Islamic State of West Africa Province ISWAP terrorists. Director of Army Public Relations Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu disclosed this in a statement on Wednesday, said the insurgents were prowling for logistics replenishment. According to the army spokesman, the insurgents were repelled by troops attached to Sector 2 of the Joint Task Force of Operation Hadinkai. He affirmed that during the counterattack, the troops captured one gun truck, one Dashka anti-graft gun, 2 AK-47 rifles, and unprimed, impoverished explosive devices IED from the fleeing terrorists. Let's stay with security stories as a retired military officer, Brigadier General Godwin Ugbo, has described the attack on the Nigerian Defense Academy as an insult to the Nigerian military. According to him, the insecurity situation in the country has gotten so bad that bandits had the audacity to enter the academy and kill 2 senior officers and abduct 1. He further opines that there is no way the bandits would have gained access to the premises if they did not have prior inside information. The retired military officer appealed to the presidency and all parties involved to review the security architecture of the NDA to prevent a future recurrence. Meanwhile, speaking to Galaxy's Valerie Choma, he highlights that military officers in the country are overwhelmed due to insecurity that keeps increasing on a daily basis across the country.
Before a bandit invade a house, there must be information. They can't just enter any house, any information anywhere without it. There must be an insider giving the information of how can they come. They went to NDA around 1 after 1 a.m. It's incredible. No, everybody is becoming apprehensive of the security. Everybody should be very, very mindful of what is happening now. Nobody is free. You can't travel from here to Benin now. It's a problem. You can't travel from Kaduna to Abuja. You can't travel from Kaduna to Kano. You can't travel from... It's a problem. I appeal to the government to find out what we shall do about this insecurity in the country. We are becoming apprehensive. Everybody is becoming afraid of insecurity in the country.
In Ogun State, the governor, Dapo Abiodun, has assured residents and would-be investors in the state of adequate security of life and property, assuring that the issue of random kidnapping in the state is being vigorously tackled. He was speaking in Abeokuta, the state capital, while playing host to the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Lagos and Ogun State, Johnson Babatunde, and his entourage in his office in the state capital. Addressing the governor and members of the State Executive Council, the AIG highlighted some of his plans for the zone, which include joint operations between Lagos and Ogun to combat crime around the Long Bridge and Kara, police, marine base and air surveillance in Ogun and Lagos State.
To impact positively on the crime situation, we have observed at the level of the zone the robbery in traffic from these criminal elements, some of them living under the bridge at Kara area, that is the border area between Lagos and Ogun. And it is my plan as the AIG in charge of the zone to organize a joint operation between Lagos Command, Ogun Command. I want to pull resources together to fight the criminal elements, and this will be strictly and of course essentially supervised by operatives from the zonal level.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State governor seized the occasion to assure the police authority of more support through necessary political will and leadership to improve the security architecture of the state. While promising more assistance for security agencies in tackling crime and criminality, the governor, however, seeks more synergy between the police and other security agencies to improve the security architecture in the state.
Provision of security is a key factor and an enabler in our quest to provide that enabling environment for public-private sector to come and invest in our state, in line with our vision, recognizing that that is the only way to economically transform this state, which also results into individual prosperity. So,
done with the visit, the AIG moved to the state police headquarters, where he was received by the waiting hands of the guard of honor mounted by men of the state command. Away from security matters, the service of songs for veteran Nollywood actress Rachel Oniga, who departed this earth after an ailment on July 30, was filled with emotional reminiscences from family and friends who wished her a peaceful exit.
I pray that God in His infinite goodness will console them, will help them, especially at this moment, and grant them the grace to be able to forge ahead in all things and continue to emulate the good example of their mother.
Now, Rachel was described as a loving, forgiving, warm-hearted woman who loved supporting people and a talented actress herself.
She's a wonderful woman, a caring woman. No matter what the offense, she always forgives. When you offend her, sometimes we have arguments, and by the end of the day, you just see her just looking over it, and that's all, and we continue. In fact, I was surprised when she passed on. You know, some two children, they just came into the compound and started crying. She's ready to give her last to make you comfortable. That is her.
I remember her for her smile. Yeah, she has this soft smile. Even when she's angry, sometimes you still see the smile behind the anger. So that's one thing that will not leave so soon.
For me, we've lost one of the rarest gems ever. You know, one of the most natural actors, one of the most gifted actors you could ever find in Africa. That was who she was. So, but to the family, I know how difficult it is. I cannot even begin to imagine how difficult it is to lose a mother. But God will give them the fortitude to bear the loss, and may they be strengthened in Christ.
Now, Rachel Oniga was born on May 23, 1957. She started her acting career in 1993, and she was well loved by family, friends, and fans. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the departed. Away from that, the National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has berated the Abia State government over its alleged failure to pay the 19-month salary arrears to members. NARD, in a communique issued on Wednesday after its extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, described the situation as disappointing. The doctors also frowned at the actions of the governors of Imo, Ekiti, and Ondo states who are still owing members 10 months, 6 months, and 4 months respectively. It also decried a situation where 114 house officers were yet to be paid their 1 to 6 months salaries. Meanwhile, the treatment gap in mental health cases has grown to as high as 85%, says President, Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria, Professor Taiwo Sheikh. Prof added that the number of serious cases receiving no treatment during the last 1 year in developed countries varies from 35.5% to 50.3%. Now, also, Sheikh said there is no clearly defined budget allocation for the condition in the national health budget. He explained that allocation for health amounts to only 3.65% of 2016 budget, and about 3.3% of the health budget of the central government goes to mental health, with over 90% of these going to institution-based services provided through 8 standalone mental hospitals. Now, about 250 vulnerable groups such as people with disabilities, the underage children, pregnant women, widows and other indigent citizens of Agatu local government area of Benue State are currently benefiting from the free universal health coverage intervention program. The intervention is through the support of the Christian Aid UK, rendering to both the state and federal government on quality and accessible health care delivery. The program officer Daniel Yegoha said Christian Aid UK Nigeria is working in collaboration with other partners and caregivers to deliver strategic health insurance services and link potential enrollees to the scheme. People of Enugba communities in Agatu, Benue State, who expressed joy over the gestures, commended the Christian Aid UK Nigeria and her partners, Onyeta caregivers, for the unprecedented enrollment of free universal health coverage in their communities. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Let's take a moment and be back with more reports. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. As the battle against COVID-19 continues, the federal government has been advised to ensure funding for research in order to depend less on developed countries for vaccines and other facilities. University Don Professor Christian Happy from the Redeemer University and the Dean College of Veterinary Medicine, University of Ibadan, Professor Yemi, while speaking at a public lecture organized by the Association of Veterinary Medical Students, University of Ibadan, says the outbreak of the virus has been revealing. Correspondent Kundojo reports that experts maintain that researchers would continue to do their best in the search for knowledge, but charged government to encourage them through proper funding. And also the president of the union, Ola Williams, said the initiative was born out of the determination of the body to contribute to knowledge as well as contribute to the development of the country through public discourse.
I mean, the research is being done, but it can only be done within the possibility of those funding it. It's obvious that in Nigeria, not much research is being supported or funded, but at least that is done within the reach of the resources available for the country. But globally, I think a lot of research is being done, but probably not much in Africa. Well, I mean, I think the government and African government, not only Nigeria, but African government should put their money where their brain is. So
veterinarians are involved. We should be in forefront, and we are actually. If you look at the people in front of forefront of COVID-19, most are veterinarians. Lassa fever, veterinarians, you know. So we are all over, and veterinarians are up to the task. And like I said, we serve a noble profession, so we're there.
And our expectations is to furthermore assert our relevance in the healthcare sector. We all understand how how much of a precarious state the Nigerian healthcare system is, and the relevance of veterinarians in ensuring that every hand is on deck and we get the system working. Last year, or in the past couple of years, we've been hit by myriads of diseases outbreak, the Lassa fever, the Ebola virus, the coronavirus, even the Zika virus. Unfortunately, we have not had an incident here. So it is to put to the public that, okay, a lot of these outbreaks and diseases have veterinary etiologies.
And following the tense security situation in Plateau, the Kaduna State government has evacuated the students studying at the University of Jos and other tertiary institutions within the neighboring state. The Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Scholarship and Loans Board, Rilwan Hassan, who disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, said the evacuation was concluded last weekend in line with the state government's directive. According to Hassan, the move is to ensure that all students of Kaduna State are not trapped or caught in a crossfire, even as the situation tends to be further degenerating. In a similar vein, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has ordered the immediate evacuation of students of Delta origin from the crisis-troubled Jos State following renewed crises and security concerns in Plateau State. Now, operatives of the Bayelsa State Police Command have evacuated 2 corpses of a husband and wife in Tumbai Amasoma Road, Yenagoa. In a statement made available to Galaxy News by the state police spokesperson, reveals that one Patrick Maxson, a native of Onopa in Yenagoa, attacked and killed his wife, Hannah Maxson, with a hammer. Thereafter, drank a poisonous substance suspected to be sniper, which led to his death. Photographs of the scene were taken. The hammer and bottle of the sniper were recovered as exhibits. Now, in Adamawa State, the State Emergency Management Agency says 7 persons have been killed and about 74,713 people affected by flood in August across the state. Dr. Muhammad Suleiman, the Executive Secretary of the agency, disclosed this to newsmen on Thursday in Yola, the state capital. According to him, 79 villages and 16 local government areas are affected by the disaster. He said the most hit areas include Demsa, Yola South, Lamude, Yola North and Jiray local government areas of the state. However, said that several houses, thousands of acres of farmlands were submerged, while properties, including domestic animals worth millions of naira, were lost to the flood. Let's stay with human angle stories for a moment, as a 47-year-old mother of 3 has been convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison for child trafficking in Akwa Ibom State. A woman, Gertrude Akpan, a retired hospital matron, was convicted by the Akwa Ibom State High Court sitting in Oyo, the state capital, for trafficking a 6-year-old boy. She was said to have bought the child at the sum of 50,000 naira, after which she took him to Owerri, the state capital, where she sold him to one Kate Ojuku Ogbonna, a native of Bende in Abia State, at the sum of 200,000 naira. Presiding judge over the matter, Justice Okonokon, the court found Akpan guilty of the offense, thereafter gave the sentence without an option of fine. The convict was said to have confessed that she has been in the trafficking business since 2008. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. Let's switch gears for a moment and join our international desk for more reports. Please stay with us.
Welcome to news from the international scene. Japan has suspended the use of 1.63 million doses of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine after reports of contamination in several vials, drug maker Takeda and the Health Ministry has said. Takeda Pharmaceutical Company, which is in charge of sales and distribution of the Moderna shot in Japan on Thursday, said it had received reports from several vaccination centers that foreign substances have been found inside unopened vials. The firm said it had informed Moderna and requested an urgent investigation. Moderna did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Takeda did not detail the nature of the contamination, but said it had not so far received any reports of health concerns arising from affected doses. Contaminants were seen inside vials from one of the 3 batches, but officials suspended the use of vials from the 2 orders as a precaution, said top government spokesman Katsunobu Kato. Japanese media said the 3 batches were all produced in Spain at the same time. Contaminants were seen in 39 unopened vials at 8 vaccination locations in central Japan, including Tokyo, according to newsmen. The Defense Ministry said doses from a suspended batch has been administered between August 6 to 28 at its mass vaccination center in the western city of Osaka. Moving on to Afghanistan, the overwhelming majority of eligible people have now been evacuated from Afghanistan by the United Kingdom, the Prime Minister said. Boris Johnson said about 15,000 people have been flown out of the capital, Kabul, but that the time remaining for evacuation efforts was quite short. It comes amid a race to evacuate thousands before foreign troops depart. One minister warned earlier that there could be a highly lethal terror attack at Kabul airport within hours. Speaking during a visit to the British military's permanent joint headquarters in North London, where he meets troops involved in evacuation efforts, Mr. Johnson said the United Kingdom's airlift would keep going for as long as they can. The U.S. has set a deadline of 31st August for the withdrawal of its troops, with President Joe Biden rejecting calls from Prime Minister Boris Johnson and other allies for an extension. Kabul airport is currently being defended and run by the United States, which has 5,800 troops on the ground with the help of more than 1,000 UK troops. Earlier, Armed Forces Minister James Appy declined to give a date for the last UK evacuation flights, but said it was likely the UK and other foreign troops would have to leave before the last American airlifts. However, Mr. Johnson insisted the U.S. deadline would not mark the end of the UK's effort to help people wishing to flee the Taliban-controlled country, adding that the current airlift were just the first phase. The Prime Minister admitted that although the lion's share of eligible people have been airlifted from the country, he recognized that there will still be people who need help. Still on the international scene, rescue workers are searching for more than a dozen people who are missing after landslide tore through towns in Venezuela's western Merida state. With 10 more days of rain forecast, rescuers are racing to reach those feared buried before new mudslides are triggered. 20 people are confirmed to have died, and emergency workers have still to reach some of the worst-hit areas. President Nicolas Maduro said more than 8,000 homes have been destroyed, while 11 states were affected by the heavy rains. Most of the fatalities occurred in Merida in the Andes, where streets and mountain villages were converted into raging torrents. Footage taken by locals showed cars being swept away and boulders strewn over muddy roads. It is not the first time the Mokoties Valley have been badly hit by deadly mudslides. In 2005, more than 40 people died and dozens went missing in the area where several rivers overflowed. Lastly, on the international scene, in the Middle East, Israel's Prime Minister Naftali Bennett hopes to restore relations with the United States and agree how to stop Iran's nuclear program during his first meeting with President Joe Biden at the White House. The right-wing nationalist took office in June after forming an ideologically diverse governing coalition. He succeeded Benjamin Netanyahu, who was close to Donald Trump and clashed with Barack Obama's administration. Mr. Bennett said it was bringing a new spirit of cooperation from Israel. He also made clear that Iran would be top of his agenda, especially the leap achieved by its nuclear program over the past 2 or 3 years. Iran has gradually breached its commitments under a nuclear deal with world powers in retaliation for the sanctions that Mr. Trump reinstated when he pulled the U.S. out of the accord in 2008, which he called defective at its core. Mr. Biden has said he will rejoin the nuclear deal and lift the sanction if Iran returns to strict compliance, but Iran says it must make the move first. But Mr. Bennett, who sees the Iranian nuclear program as a potential threat to Israel's existence, hopes to persuade the president to give up trying to revive the deal. The Prime Minister told U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday that he hoped their countries could work together in cooperation and goodwill and find common things they could agree upon. When Mr. Trump and Mr. Netanyahu were both in office, the U.S. and Israel worked together closely to counter Iran's nuclear activities, its ballistic missile programs, and its involvement in conflict across the Middle East. However, newsmen reported on Thursday that Mr. Netanyahu curtailed intelligence sharing on Iran with the U.S. in the spring because he did not trust the Biden administration. A senior U.S. official briefed reporters that Biden would tell Bennett that he shared his concerns about Iran's nuclear activities but remained committed to diplomacy for now. And that's all from news from the international scene.
Welcome back. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. To end things, let's join the entertainment desk.
Welcome to entertainment news. Controversial Nollywood celebrity Uche Maduagwu was recently involved in an altercation with fellow actor Jim Iyke. In a video making the rounds on social media, Jim Iyke was seen confronting his colleague over comments that the latter made about the popular Nollywood bad boy on social media. From the video, it was gathered that Iyke managed to trace Maduagwu to his location and also questioned him for the comment he dropped about his person on social media. The confrontation soon led to a fight with people struggling to hold back Iyke as he pounced on Maduagwu. Meanwhile, Jim has reacted to the video with a statement noting that he doesn't know Uche and was head on straight talking to a correspondent if his face was seen clearly, his voice heard, or if fact can be proven that he was the one in the video. Listen.
Can you, in a court, prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that's me? So from a voice, you're here on national TV saying that you saw me get into an altercation with someone. Are you sure it's me? Are you sure it is me?
Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's answer the question. When you're sure, call me back. No, when you're sure, I'm available. Call anybody, I'll come back. When you're sure, with proof, irrefutable proof. My brother, my sister, I'm an actor. I have 20 voices I can mimic right now. Sure. So when you're sure it's Jim Iyke that attacked, what's the name of this person?
Uche.
Uche, what was his last name? Is he Igbo or Yoruba?
It should be Igbo.
This is TV. So when you're absolutely right about things, ask questions based on irrefutable fact. It's media.
Meanwhile, the bigger Nigerian dream is to go outside the country to desirable places and become legal citizens, which is something that has happened in actress Tawa Ajisafeni's home. Ajisafeni took to her Instagram page with a photo of her husband holding his certificate as he officially becomes a U.S. citizen. After congratulating her husband, Tawa praised him for putting his time and energy into achieving the goal. The actress' husband also took to his personal page to give praise to God who made the citizenship possible. Congratulations to you. Meanwhile, update on the Super TV CEO boss Usifo Atage. The family of the late Super TV Chief Executive Officer Usifo Atage has petitioned the Inspector General of Police Usman Akali to reinvestigate the circumstances surrounding the death of their son at his service department in the Lekki area of Lagos State. Counsel to the family of the late Atage, Mike Ezekome, who disclosed that so far the police investigation into Atage's death was not professionally handled, adding that the police, without obtaining legal advice from the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, already primed suspect Chidima Ojukwu and other suspected accomplices at a Chief Magistrate Court, which had no jurisdiction over murder cases. The senior advocate of Nigeria stated that Atage's family alleged that one of the already suspected accomplices, Babalola Diso, carried out the murder. Ezekome stated that the family demanded reinvestigation of the entire murder case of their breadwinner adding that the findings should be handed over to the Lagos State DPP to formally rearrange Chidima and all the suspected accomplices who had already been charged before the Chief Magistrate Court. Talking about love, Nigerian singer Ricky Sani has lamented how hard it has been trying to find the right partner. The music star made his frustration known via his Twitter page. August 25, 2021, Ricky Sani talked about how heart-wrenching it was writing a love song while being single. He said finding someone these days is scary and revealed he has been through intense craziness while finding or trying to find the one. He admitted he values the peace he gets from being single, but said he's hoping deep down that God sends him a worthy companion. He added that he has handed over the choice of a partner to God, seeing as his discretion has failed him in the past and almost cost him everything. And finally, on entertainment news, Nollywood's Tonto Dike is gradually becoming a serial entrepreneur as she continues to expand her streams and income. The actress turned public servant in an Instagram post shared an exciting piece of information with her online fans and followers as regards her latest business venture. Tonto Dike disclosed that her dream of owning a residential estate is already coming to pass. The actress went on to disclose the name as the King's Court Estate. Her post was accompanied with a quote in which she stressed the importance of turning dreams into actions. And that'll be all on entertainment news.
And with that reports, we conclude our news at this time. But for more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp Simply Share Story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818 666 669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. And that's your Galaxy TV News at this time. On behalf of the production team and everyone here, thank you so much for your company. We urge you to please keep safe. I am Kelly Egiga, and I will see you again next time. Bye.